So you might be getting up there in years. Yeah, I got some readers. And you need some tips for what you're gonna do when you're carrying your gun as a person of a certain age. Hey, before I get into that, let me tell you that we have a gun giveaway going on. It's happening right now. It's absolutely free. All you gotta do is click in the link down below to learn which brand new gun you could win. All right, so like I said, a person of a certain age has different challenges when we're carrying a gun and different things to think about. First and foremost is where and how you can carry the gun, and all of that comes into a lot of your physical ability. You're not as young as you once were. Trust me, I know this. Shoulder issues, knee issues, things just sort of stack up over the years. And you know what? I tore my shoulder muscle several years back. That makes it really hard to reach all the way behind my back. I certainly couldn't do small of the back carry or anything like that. Those are the things you have to think about as you get older. Can you get access to your gun? Now, maybe you're getting a little bit more around the middle. I like to consider myself, you know, svelte, but I know that's not true. I just consider myself. But maybe you're not gonna go with appendix carry if you got a little more weight around the middle. Maybe you're getting that gun over at the 4 o'clock position. Maybe you wanna go to a shoulder holster when you're riding in a car if you spend a lot of time in your vehicle. Make sure that you can adequately get to your gun and your spare ammunition. Another thing to think about is the level of force you will use to protect yourself, and this goes right back to your education and training about the self-defense laws where you are when you're carrying your gun. You have to be able to articulate that you are in reasonable fear, okay, of imminent death or great bodily harm. So when you can articulate that, then you can use deadly force. That's the deciding factor, that reasonable person standard. Would a reasonable person, with the information that you had at the time you used force, use the same level of force? This is how things are going to be discussed at the prosecutorial and even at the trial level. What's going to happen with that? So if you are injured, if you have a bad back or bad knees, or you can't move the way you could move before, if the person you're facing is much younger and much stronger, maybe much bigger, something like that, yes, then you can articulate the reason why you used the force that you did at the time you used it. So you may be able to use more force sooner if you can articulate that you're too old to run away, you had a bad back, you had bad knees, something like that. You are not as mobile as you were once before. But again, this all rolls back to understanding your state laws, the laws that govern self-defense in your state. So make sure that you're checking out USCCA.com/laws and understand those laws before you're carrying your gun, before you use it and possibly get yourself in trouble. Another thing to think about is the sighting options for your gun. Lots of people are going to these micro red dot sights on their pistols, and you know what? They're really cool, and they really do help you reach out and hit better with your pistol at longer distances. But understand that most gunfights are at really close distance. Now, I just spoke to a person who is in his early 70s who made multiple hits on a bad guy from the supine position, laying flat on his back, shooting up a flight of stairs at a range of about 8 feet. He doesn't even remember seeing his sights. I don't think a red dot would have made his shooting all that much better. At these really close ranges, do you really need a red dot sight, or do you need more practice and more training at getting hits quickly at close range? This is something that only you can decide, but it's something you really need to consider as your eyes age and your ability to hit your target at a greater distance comes into question. Now, you heard about the mall shooting where the young shooter fired from, what, 45 yards? I don't think I'd want to make that shot or try that shot at my age with my eyes with open sights 45 yards across a food court in a mall, worried about if there's anybody else in the way. So for me, I'd like that shot to be a little bit closer. Maybe I need to use cover to get closer to get in a better position. Think about all those things. And yeah, it really sucks to be getting older. We all know it. We're all getting older every day. But we need to understand that the limitations placed on us by our age can also change up how we have to deal with our self-defense incident. The more you learn, the more training you get, the more practice you get, the better off you are. Want to know the 3 biggest mistakes when carrying a handgun? Then click on the video next to me to reveal all 3 mistakes. Mistake number 2 may shock you. Everybody has their own cardinal rules for what they're going to do when they're carrying a gun, But right now, I'm going to give you 3 things that you must never do